Man, what's up, world? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, back with another video. And this one's gonna be more on the somber tip. As, you know, come to discover some news that was. I'm still trying to find the words to describe like how I feel, like hurt or disheartening. Just don't uh, get to the depth of the level of like just concern and the sorrow I feel. You know what I'm saying? In relation to the news that I'm about to cover. Again, that's why I call this the Bamboozle Again News Network, um, where I try to, I guess everybody has their biases to a degree, but I'm going to try to make this as stuff in my spotty sense is going to lead this. You know what I'm saying? Um, where do I begin? Okay, let me preface it by saying this. Me, myself, being, an historian, seeing the value and the necessity of you know, people, especially black people. I'm just saying the only people on earth who just can't do this, who just can't come together. Like even on your workplace or in your neighborhood, it's just hard. And I heard Mark the Messenger say this, like it's like we just cursed. And I'll slightly bring him into it to a degree, because I didn't understand that uh, he had a issue, I guess, uh, with the main individual. Seems to be the centerpiece, is someone who has been very instrumental along my journey. Someone I believe to be genuine, and still do, let me say that. Not out of a place of bias, but out of just leading. Of course, I try to hear things openly, um, try to make a logical conclusion. But I also have learned through situations to trust my spotty sense. And a lot of times you'll go through stuff to train it to help you rely on something even more. Because honestly, even though I try not to be puffed up with knowledge, right? I'm mindful of that. I'm mindful not to get egotistical. I'm just mindful not to get off my square or to think because of the Most High's blessings that somehow I'm better than somebody or I got some underlying, whatever, right? Um, and this situation is in relation to, what the brothers were attempting to build together. And I think it was big just for YouTube, because you don't see content creators link up in real life working on something, an initiative that benefits everyone, at least in theory, right? Yo, this joint's so wild. It was hard for me to sleep last night, and then also it kind of, and throughout this video, like I've seen this before. Like Jigga Man said, all I see is life cycle just repeating itself. In similar situations I find myself in, and how I was treated and how I seen the play and the intent. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say this, that I don't want to say I'm taking nobody's side, but I feel where Nubreed coming from. Not because I've listened to him longer. Um, okay, let me get into it, right? So I know nothing of the issues at hand. I stay abreast of everything else through YouTube. What they were doing with the land, trying to be a part of that. That's why I went and got a solar cert, for the purposes of being able to lend assistance in an area that they may need. I'm not coming on no just trying to get in where I fit in. Well, I guess that too, but not trying to get, I'm trying to give. Because whether they realize it or not, the brother have given so much to me. I was thinking about how, my time at the job, like I said, I wasn't really around people. And I learned these terms of like gang stalking and gaslighting. I learned that through Nubreed in depth. I'd heard people say it, but just to break down the nuances and then apply it in practical terms that, a brother or a sister might have to deal with. I don't get through my particular situation unscathed twice, But what happened at the Jewish ran rehab, where 80% of the white female staff were active practitioners of witchcraft, and 80% of the black women were just having sexual clients. Then of course, I was intrigued because I don't get down with the get down like that. They're unbeknownst to them the path I've had to walk, where none of that was a temptation to me. I actually seen the vulnerability, so I was able to not fall into the bait of flattery, seduction, temptation. You see what I'm saying? Then here comes, after I got a position of leadership, gaslighting, trying to set me up. And these people are still mad at me to this day because I was able, through the help of Nubreed and other content creators too, able to identify what was going on, critically think, and then navigate it. Twice. And I left both times. I quit because of that. And because of my work ethic, what I had done, they actually hired me back. And I had to quit on them again because they were putting my morals and ethics involved. On the line. And I didn't want to do that. Not for no paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So I found the brother's content very, very valid. And through him, I found out about Mark the Messenger's, Nubreed, Ringo, Pastor Dab. Now, none of these brothers are rocking anymore. And it's just so disheartening for those of us, let's say like me, who are on the outside looking in, because there's not a whole lot inspiring. You don't really see brothers coming together to build. They probably better off building in a secular sense, just off business and finance. But when brothers who so say in the truth, who so say trying to follow the Most High and leave a life without repentance, it never goes right. And it's just sad to see. You know what I'm saying? And then it be having me thinking, as I try to attempt this in my own personal life, and things haven't come together. I understand it's y'all's time, but I've done my due diligence. Me and a brother in the truth, right? I'm not gonna go into particulars about that because it's still kind of up in the air. But things didn't turn out the way that I would have liked, and I contributed more than what we agreed on. You know what I'm saying? As good faith. You know what I'm saying? But it got to a point where I had to discontinue it because it was no longer. Well, it wasn't. Anything I continued to do would be in the hopes of getting something. So it's like I'm throwing something at something, hoping I can just get something in return instead of just cutting it off. But we not on bad terms or nothing. It didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But I still talk to the brother, and he still makes content and so on and so forth. And it just may not supposed to be working at the time. It made me think of when my shawty passed away, when we first got together. When I tried to facilitate that in my time, it didn't work. The circumstances led to that, and then our prior experiences led to us being conducive. You know what I mean? But supposedly these brothers had a falling out in relation to Nubreed helping Ringo move from New York to North Carolina, while Nubreed lives in Georgia. Now, mind you, like I said, I don't know nothing about nothing. And I thought it was wild because here's where my spidey sense was tingling, but my conscious mind hadn't caught up to it yet. So I check out, various people on YouTube. And I know we're in this season of or people are hopping on the exposure train for their own selfish purpose. I'm not exposing, with me, I wasn't exposing or attempting to expose the job to build myself up. I'm exposing the job because I feel like everybody needs to know. You see what I'm saying? And put the target on my back. There was no personal benefit in me doing it. It actually would have been worldly better had I just turned a blind eye saying it ain't got nothing to do with me and just keep getting paid from them people while everything around the motherfucker fall apart. So that takes place. They do the land walk. There's various videos about that. So I'm thinking everything. So I check out. So it was The video was somebody I don't subscribe to. Said Nubreed and Fall Apart. So out of curiosity, I click on the joint. I listened to a little bit of it saying they falling out over money, da da da. So, and this is an issue I got. Like, I'm quick to defend without all the information, and because I know the divisive tactics, right? So I heard normally I don't comment. So I said, how brothers that fell out that ain't fell out? LOL. Time proceeds on. Again, I don't know anything about the situation. So, like I said, I check out Ringo's content as well. Now, some of them super long joints I can't really get with. I try to get the crux and the premise and, whatever. But I know that since he's gotten to North Carolina, to me, his content's kind of changed. It's almost like, and I'm not saying this is to me, it's like he's just dropping content for the sake of dropping content for the purposes of making money. But I know like he did like a series, because he normally does the long joints. So he did like a series of like 20-minute to half-hour joints. That's more my speed while I'm dropping off orders or whatever. I can check out, the good brothers, right? And I think the first one was like how monitoring spirits ain't real. Now, I hadn't made the connection yet. Like I said, I don't know nothing about nothing. So I click on it, I check on it, and he's basically saying that the talking point you hear people saying about monitoring spirits isn't true. And I was kind of like thrown off. I'm like, but it is true. I just been privy to this personally. And through the help of Nubreed, who covered that topic also, I was able to move in a way where, in wisdom, right? And I know in the Bible it talks about, and that doesn't use the term monitoring spirits, but let's say the one verse where it says the wicked lie and wait for the good. In order to lie and wait to do something to a good person, you have to monitor it. You know what I'm saying? Like the police monitor people. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to get the drop on somebody, I'm gonna monitor how to you know what I'm saying? To put my plan in motion, right? So I'm like, and I didn't really have no opinion about it. I'm just like, okay. And it didn't really resonate with me, so I clicked off. So then I think he did another one, because I wanted to check the series out, right? Of the shorter, like 20, 30-minute content. But for some, I just couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get with it. So boom. So I don't really listen. Boom. All right, cool. So yesterday I was at the gym, did whatever, and I always check out Nubreed. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about the dirty section of YouTube. But I never picked up, as Ringo was saying, that he was sneak dissing him. When I listened to those videos, I'm like, yo, he talking about somebody. And it wasn't even like he talked in general. The argument he was making, the way I called it, was just how YouTube ain't real and, having balance in life and detaching before you get caught up in it. And it is easy to do that. And I found that to be sound wisdom and advice. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't pick up that he was talking to anybody or attempting to defend himself from something that was coming. So fast forward to last night. I checked out Truth Unedited, as I normally do Friday nights when he dropped. And then I seen Breed, so I'm like, on my ride back, I can check Breed out. And then it's like another issue with a brother. So now I'm like, I know they had the issue with Rollo. And I'll segue to my Spidey sense. Now, I did see a video, I think Breed did it, or Ringo or something. And they had all linked up when they first got to Carolina. And Rollo pulls up in a red car. And honestly, when he pulled up, and it's the video of him getting out, my Spidey sense tingled. The same way my Spidey sense tingled before I had the constant information of when my right hand man that I was with in treatment started running some games. You know what I'm saying? But I shake it. I like, you know what I mean? But then later on they fall out, and supposedly he put a play together for views, and I ain't gonna get on into particular. But this is teaching me to learn to trust my Spidey sense, because I don't want to get big headed or think I just know, and you know what I'm saying? But this Spidey sense, which is, I believe discernment, right, is the most valuable tool I got now. And it's like in this season, I'm learning to trust it by seeing situations how they played out and how I felt, quote unquote, at the time, out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that happens. Boom. So then Breed does the video about addressing the Ringo situation, and I'm like, he's saying that, and I hadn't seen any of this. People saying he's shaking people down for money. He's not, do, right? So I'm checking the joint out, and then he refers to Ringo. So I'm like, damn, Joe, how them brothers fall apart? Woo, woo. So I'm listening to the joints about the move. He gives his side of the story. But in him giving his side of the story, he's saying that Breed is saying for people to sneak this him, or Breed is sneak this. I never picked that up. I ain't know nothing about it. Um, but then it gave credence to what I perceived a couple days before, because Breed was saying how he's dispelling all of his talking points. Then it made me go back to that Modern Spirits video. Then, then I went back on research purposes. He got joined about fear-based content. Like, let's say, talk about Ringo, let's say, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So just enjoy your life now. And as far as just enjoying life, I agree with it. But it's still wise to prepare. He's insinuating that if the dollar collapses, you won't be able to function. You will be able to function if you prepare. That's why they have whole prepper groups, preparation. Like, in the word it says, be like the ant. You know what I'm saying? The ant ain't worried about winter. The ant just prepares for winter in the summer when it's conducive to do so. So I'm like, yo, he is, because all like his last like five or of those 20 or 30 minute form videos were based, and he never said his name, but were basically dispelling his talking points that have greatly benefited me. You see what I'm saying? In application. So I'm like, wow, Joe, woo, woo, woo. So he goes on about that. He gives the particulars of the move, his misunderstanding, his version of events. But I did, and I try to hear the whole matter, even though, I might be more side to Breed because of what I said previously. But let me hear the whole thing out, though, right? But as I'm driving, I'm listening to Breed explain the situation. He was very passionate. He was very hurt. You know what I'm saying? And he said as much as so. And I'm like, yo, I feel because I've been through numerous situations the same way. So according to Breed, they had a move. He reached out to him saying, the moving company is going to charge me X amount of dollars. I don't trust them. They scam and whoop, the whoop, the whoop. Would you be able to be of assistance? He like, yeah. He come up from Atlanta to New York, him and his wife, to help assist the brother in his transition out of, the heart of the city, New York, to a better situation in North Carolina. Sure enough. He attests that, he drove the box truck. He didn't go on YouTube, so he didn't make any money. He when they first got the, he paid everything out of his pocket. Rolled out the red carpet with, just in hospitality, whoop the whoop the whoop. I guess the crux of the matter figures something to the effect of, and this is where Bree feels he misunderstood what he meant in a voice message. But he's like, why are you sending me a voice message? You could have just called me. You see what I'm saying? So let me get this right. So instead of charging X amount of dollars, he was like, well, if you help me move, I'll just throw it to you because I know it's going to be put to good use. And that's understandable. Like if I'm gonna just hire my homeboy, pay him less than the moving company, but I'm gonna play fair. You know what I'm saying? And he my man's in now. But I'm gonna do him right though. You know what I'm saying? And this is where I get into how this has happened to me. So boom, that happens. So he said as they're finishing up, they're in the garage talking, and then he shifts the conversation into how him and his brother fell out over money. He was like, wow, that was a convenient time for you to, bring that up. Almost like he was, prepping it, right? Do. So he said he kind of felt whatever. And then was like, look, I know you got this going on, whoop the whoop. He said, man, just tighten me up on your time, cuz. But as for right now, just the trip back just tightened me up as far as that. And we, work it out how we work, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no, you know what I'm saying, pressing you, none of that, you know what I mean? He said the following day he sent him 2 voice messages telling him that he all about money. And something so he was so off put by the voice messages, not the call, that he said he ain't listened to the rest of them. I would have done that. You know what I'm saying? Here's my opinion of that particular situation. Just that right there. I've been in situations like that myself where somebody you know is in dire straits. And this is where I said in other videos how you have to be very careful because people will perceive your genuineness, your goodness, and attempt to use it against you, right? So, like when I was at the rehab, when them spots was closing up, and I was called personally by the executive director to help them, move or whatever, because now they whole situation will fall apart. They got moved. So me and a few of the other homies, about 3 or 4 of us, we moved the executive director from a 2-story single-family home with a basement, into a 1-level apartment and packed all that crap in there. It took it was literally, we worked about 16 hours, yo. And this woman gave us $100 a piece, yo. And that's when I started like, never again. I ain't saying nothing, never again. No, they were foul for that. But they called themselves saving money, but you didn't play fair. And then after they were done using us, like if I needed a reference, because these only people in Baltimore I know is these treatment folks. Their phone was cut off, they didn't answer, I couldn't hit them on Facebook, none of that. But you call me when you need me. And then when you need me, you no longer need me, and then you discard me like you got over. And that's what kind of triggered as Nubreed is telling his side of the story. Not saying this because, New York people from New York kind of run this play, but they do that. I'm not saying Ringo's doing that, but it's hurtful because, okay, he trying to get out of New York City. You know what I'm saying? According to Breed, he took him everywhere. He helped him find a rental car. He was with him when he purchased the car. He took him around to find homes, right? But you have and Ringo says he rolls solo, which I get it. And Mark the Messer said he's rolling solo, and I get it. But solo not gonna get the job. Not saying the Most High can't protect you, lead you, divinely do this and that and the third. But that's not even with me. I roll solo, but I'm trying. But I find myself so disappointed because it's either hard to get brothers to come together, time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's why black people are last, because we can't come together. But a lot of times, and maybe because of the trauma of being here in Babylon, fuck it, we just and I'll be struggling with that too. Like I'm tired of trying. And then Mark Messer said something very profound. He said that he felt like every time Nubreed hit him up, that it was financially based. You know what I'm saying? It was like, can you give? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he wrong. Or, you know what I'm saying? So when Mark said that, I was like, damn, Joe. Because Mark don't come off to me like that. So he going solo. But Mark said something very profound. He was like, I roll solo because and he hit me in my soul when I said this. He said, whenever I've had friendships or anything like that, I've always given more than the other party. Not that I'm keeping count or track, but I always wind up on the short end of the stick. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? And I'm tired of it, you know what I'm saying? And he said, no hate to nobody. He said, whoop the whoop. Like, he gave it up, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't on the tip, Ringo on. But he was like, I'm not going to be a part of any, build initiative. I was nothing but the best for that brother. And, you know what I'm saying? Da-da-da. So I'm like, dang, how he, you know what I'm saying? Dang, Joe. So they fall out, or he says then he sends some message, da-da-da. Here's what I think happened, though, right? I think from the tippy top, and then, the projection stuff. Breed helped me with understanding that. And I recognize it so much in my life that people will try to dump their characteristics on you and have people thinking you evil, when in reality, they the one that plan to mess you over. Then they go to everybody and tell them some story to get them to not fool with you. Not realize you had nothing but genuine intention and motive. And that'll make you not want to fool when that's happened repeatedly. And that's happened to me personally. And then, he was like, well, had I not been of assistance, you'd have been short. You see what I'm saying? And it wasn't about no money, but you said, and he's going live now, playing the voice message and going through them. Like, I'll throw it to you instead of giving it to the white man. Segue me, please. I had just moved from the now I'm on my. It's crazy how this happened. I was on my way back to North Carolina, right? Because the job I had down here was closing up. So I told myself, anything happened, and that was the only thing sustaining me. If something happened to this job, I'm going back to North Carolina where I had some peace at. Because I called myself coming back here for family purposes, whatever, it just didn't work. So I get word that the line that I work on at the job is closed. So I say, shit, I'm gone. I get my last check, I'm out. I start calling back, because I lived in North Carolina previously, maybe about a year prior to when I'm making a phone call back to Carolina. Everybody, yeah, bro, come on back. We got you, man. Whoop de whoop. And then in relation to certain things, those brothers helped me. When I got on my feet, I paid them back. You see what I'm saying? Because that's how I just like to do my business. One, you never know who you're going to need again. And two, what would I have done had you not been of assistance? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But in the midst of me doing that, I go across the bridge and see some family of a female friend of mine that had passed away. Just to show, so my plan was to just kick it, party, see some people I ain't seen, sober up Monday, Tuesday. I'm on the Greyhound back to Carolina. So I'm back at this, the female friend of mine that had passed away's house. She's been gone for, a few years at this point. So it's me, her brother, his girlfriend, and an old head dude who I didn't really know, but I heard stories about him. So I'm ready, call a cab and go holler at my pops, which is maybe like a 10-minute ride. But this is where I messed. I said, instead of giving it to the white cab company, let me give it to a brother out here. So I asked the old school player how much it'll cost me, whoop, de whoop, de whoop. He give me a price. I say, bet. I said, however, we're going to have to stop to, gas station something along the way, because I ain't got no change on me. He say, cool. I goes in the joint, I come out. Now, we laughing, we kicking, everything copacetic. When I get back in the car, now, mind you, they do drugs and shit. But at the time, I still don't judge nobody. That's just what they do. It don't affect me none. So I think when I went in, they had contrived to get more money out. Instead of just saying, yo, can I get some more money, and playing the game straight up, they tried to shame me into the shit. And then so I hopped back in the car, and old school, yo, you went bought some food, the price of your trip then went up. What that gotta do? You know what I'm saying? And then he just rah. Mind you, I just went through hell where I'm coming from. So in my mind, I'm already in North Carolina. And I ain't finna put up with it. But I'm gonna try to politic with the brother. So I say, yo, how the price done went up on something we agreed upon? He's still hollering, calling me out my name, doo. Man, I'm gone, cuz. I leave all my stuff in the back of this man's truck and I take off walking. I'm not dealing with that. Bump them clothes. I get some new, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm on my way. But I'm not that far removed from tomfoolery, right? So as I'm walking, now he's up on the truck ledge. You know what I'm saying? I hear somebody holler. I turn around, he up on the truck ledge. Woo. Yada. I fan him off. Go ahead, bro. I keep walking. I got a bag and I got a couple bills in the other bag walking. But I keep hearing him and my feet stop. When my feet stop, I turn around. When I turn around, my arm came forward and I slung the bag of beer that I had at the truck. When he see my uncle, he jumped back in the car, shut the door. I was kind of like Peyton Manning. The bag of beer hit his windshield right where his face would have been at had the windshield not been there. He instantly, I see him do like this. I said, oh, he calling the federal rivals. He done got me. So I post up by the ice box. I'm waiting on the federal rally. I wait for like 15, 20 minutes. I said, man, take off walking. Now, mind you, I'm hot because he done tried me, yo. And I got cause I smoked white boys at the time, weed wrapped in top paper, whatever. But I'm so hot, I don't want to calm down. But I want to spark it, but I don't. the federal rally man shoot down on me. I drive it. Make a long story, I got locked up that night, but I get right back out because I hadn't been no significant trouble. By the time I get back around the way, now I ain't gonna call no scene out of respect in front of the mama house. But he already made this story up about whoop the whoop the whoop the whoop. And I told my man who know all of it, I said, yo, get my clothes back before I have to shoot the man house up, yo. Cause now you done mess my, you know what I mean? But he ended up getting, you know what I mean, da da da. But that was just one, another situation, you know what I'm saying? So he took that the wrong way, or he say he misunderstood it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. But then when he makes these articulations about the very next day, he sent, instead of calling him, he sends him a voice message accusing him of being about money when he didn't get no money. When he went way out of state. And then Ringo's response was, you supposed to do things out of brotherly love, yo. True indeed. But let's say that was me, and he gives me that option. Out of the fact that I know I couldn't have pulled this off without him, I gotta bless him with something. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me, though. But I think he had no plans of being a part of the land initiative. His main source of income, I'm assuming, is YouTube. So me, that's about that. I think he had the whole play put together. Yeah, I could do this, but Bree really want me a part of this. I'll call the brother. I'm gonna get, and according to Bree, he said he really didn't help with the move. It was him and his pregnant wife. He said when they get there, he elects to start cutting the grass instead of getting the main bulk of the work, the items or the boxes in the house. The grass can wait. He said, man, they didn't get no sleep, they didn't get no shine, they was up for like 72 hours. And then he said, man, when he hit me with that, I felt disrespected. And from the version of events he told, I see why. I'd have felt disrespected. So he said when he didn't listen to the first two, man, I'm not listening to all that, bro. Give me a second, man. I can't believe he just came out of the mouth like that after I just did all that for him. So I'm like, wow. And Bree was hot, like, and it just triggered, like I said, experiences that I done had in which it went very similar to that. But I think here's the move. I had, as far as Ringo go, I have no plan on being a part of no land. And he quit to say, I don't fool with nobody, da da da. So I think he just used that to get down there. Then when people get to where they want to be, they act like they don't know you. I've had that happen 1,000 times. At one point, I was paying somebody rent, keeping them, and they were making bad decisions, but off the love, I did it. Because I didn't want to see the kids outside. A few months later, I found myself homeless and went back to them. Like, yo, can you give me something to eat or, something slight, you know what I mean? You ain't obligated to, but because I helped you in this monumental fashion, I'm thinking you will. Man, I never forget the smirk I seen on his face. Nah, we ain't got nothing, yo. Like, wow. And when I was down bad, they tried to jive carry me, yo. Now I'm back on deck by the grace of Most High. And I don't want nothing to do with it. Now ain't no hurt, no animosity. And I've been seen in their character. I just did it, ain't it? That's on me, though. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody else, like, behaviorally falling apart or, you know what I'm saying? But that's the experience I had to go through to be able to recognize the experience I'm going through now and to assess a situation like this. So the content with them together make a lot of da-da-da. But he said he went to him in private to address the issue. Referred to Ringo. But he never said what the issue was when I checked him out on live last night. And then he's making, what you call it, accusations that he's projecting, he sneak dissing, he doing this, that, and the third. He all about money. It would be funny when you owe the man money, or at least something in good faith, then you claim they all about money when you paying him, when you had no other option. I've had that happen. You see what I'm saying? Or like you in a relationship, and the girl hollering about you sneaky. Whole time, she the one being sneaky. And then running around telling everybody you sneaky. So then when you come to the table with what happened from your view of events, people are prone not to believe because they done heard the other side so many times. I've had my father do that to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, Joe, when I'm not beneficial to you, now I'm the worst person in the world. But when you was, in a situation, I was there for you. So much so that the family was amazed we was getting along. But we was getting along because I knew who you is. I know how to tend to you. And off the sheer fact you my father, that's what I'm going to do. Even though we had issues in the past, I don't think this guy worked. But then after I broke my neck and all that, whoop, man, it was terrible, bro. I like lost my mind. I said, and he was trying, like, females that I knew and just doing some old sucker-ducker stuff. Now I'm back on deck. I guess he thought it never happened. Now he can't even speak to me. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I ain't did my fair share there, especially like in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? So, it's wild, Mo. It's wild, Joe. So now Nubreed, he did the rebuttal video. I think as I'm making this one, he on there and he's going through the voice messages. But this the play I think he had, and then with him projecting and dispelling his talking points of monitoring experience, no need to come together. I'm paraphrasing, whatever, right? I think that was his way of baiting him in to pull the play he already had planned. So I'm a like, you ever had somebody talk indirectly to you, but you can perceive they're pointing it at you? You know what I'm saying? So he dispelling the man talking points without saying his name, right? But then claiming he sneak dissing to get the proper response he want for him to run the play he already had set up. Because this was another thing I noticed. It was like, he was just dropping content for the sake of dropping content. We got to get this work done. I'm up early dropping content. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he had a real message or something. I'm just putting shit on here. That's how I took it. And I be wanting to drop content too, but sometimes I don't have nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So he did that enough times. Nubreed made a rebuttal video. And then he came back. You see how angry he is? You know what I'm saying? He a demon. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da. Here comes the documentary. So now Ringo talking about he gonna make a documentary, a movie about Nubreed. Damn, that's quick. You can't tell me you ain't had that plan. You was just waiting to get far enough in the plan to come public with it. You see what I'm saying? How you gonna create a documentary about the man this quick? And what is the intent and motive for it? It can't be, oh, he's not who he say he is, referring to Nubreed. I think all y'all should need to know so y'all don't get bamboozled. I feel like he doing all this to create the drama, to get the views, the likes, and I guess the reciprocal financial or monetization. That's what I believe personally. Because he seems adamant. I mean, and then he never said what the original issue, as far as Ringo said, he never, on his live, and I posted it like 3 times. What was the original issue you had to go to him with that you feel like he didn't respond? I never, or at least I didn't hear what he said his original issue was. But he may be along the line, well, I'll tell y'all in the documentary. You see what I'm saying? And then how long, I don't know nothing about no video edit. How long does it take to edit a video and do? I think he had that play wrapped up the whole time. He had no intention to fool them folks. He just used Breed to get to where he wanted to go to. Then he start like attempting to elicit a response to him. And then once he finally responded, then he came with the play he wanted to run the whole time. Because he just couldn't drop it, you know what I'm saying? A documentary and don't nobody know what the hell going on. But he did say Breed was very, and he was. He cursed a few times, like he was hot. And understandably so, from the version of events that he told, I'd have been hot too. You mean tell me, man, I'd have helped you and whoop the whoop. Now you gonna claim, man, the woo the woo? Man, get out of here, cuz. Man, what, man? Let me calm down. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, see how angry, and Breed helped me with this one, where people will try to elicit a reaction out of you to say, see, he's angry. See, that's why you shouldn't trust him. See, he's evil, right? But then if he addressed it, or let's say he don't, he's not that passionate about it, and he goes to it very stoic wise, right? He can say, oh, see, he don't care. So it don't matter what you do. He was going to run the play irregardless, because that's the play he had set up anyway. Because now he's in, I guess he's a homeowner now, new car, like them bills. And from what I understand, like he get paid through YouTube. I don't know if he do anything else. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the financial situation is. So now, there's more, it's just crazy. And that's how I feel about it. I feel like he ran that play on that man, yo. And it's a sad state. And here's why it's sad, yo, for us on the outside looking in, excuse me, who are looking for, like with me, like it's just not a whole lot outside of my door that I find inspiring or nothing I can feel. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen brothers putting their hand to the plow and coming together, I was feeling that, B. You know what I'm saying? Word up, man. And I was trying to position myself to be a part of it in service, to be a part of something greater than myself, to have something we can call our own, to link with brothers and brotherhood, since, you know what I'm saying, they done, you know what I mean, woo to woo, and it's hard for that to happen. And then this is typically, you know, what takes place. You always got somebody with, I perceive, another agenda, or like with my mind, like the, you know what I'm saying. And then, you know, it's just sad, bro. That joint disturbed my spirit, yo. It's just like you want to come together, but I'm of this belief now. Even with my efforts in numerous different areas, getting out the country, it's not working. Delays, da da da. It'll work if Most High wanted to work, and it'll work in His time. So I do my due diligence, but I'm not so hard pressed on hammering it in the joint, right? Because I read two, what's the names in an apocrypha I got, one about the story of Joseph and one about, I think it was in Maccabees, where the tribe of Levi tried to like get out of Egyptian bondage under their own power, and God like punished them for it. And a story about Joseph when he tried to put a move together to get out of jail under his own intellect or whatever, and it says God punished him by leaving him in there another 2 years. And sometimes I get the Peter spirit, right? I'll be totally transparent, like and I don't really know, and I guess that's where faith come in at. But I'll try to go ahead of God's timing, not in maliciousness or saying God don't know what He's doing, but out of urgency, out of longing. You know what I'm saying? But it may not be His will right now. Even with certain, like I got, you know, something happening, you know, whatever. That's where He want me at, and I can use that to work on what I'm trying to do. But it ain't gonna work unless He want it to work. And maybe, I think with this gathering that's supposed to happen, like, you know, prophetically in the scriptures, I think God has to do all that, or set the circumstance for brothers to come together who are supposed to come together. I know, like when it talks about the second exit, He said like He'll purge the rebels from among you, and so I think it's actually a benefit, because you can't roll solo. You can, but your odds of survival, like any prepper channel will tell you that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. It's just like, and then, you know, Ringo talking about, okay, common crab, what you gonna do? Well, we need to be figuring that out now. Ain't no, oh, I just live my life now, and then it happened, and oh, now I gotta learn how to garden, or oh, now you're gonna need some brothers. You see what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to get in early so I could be a part of the work. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we on some tip, we don't need nobody, and maybe we don't, but that's not really reality when you see the other nations coming together. And that's why the Hispanics are running laps around us, because they can come together. They can handle issues in-house. You see what I'm saying? I think he wanted to come to social media with it. He would just plan it long enough to make it seem like he wasn't doing it, but then by behavior he did do it. You see what I'm saying? And when I watched Ringo's video, it was just about the situation. I just didn't understand where the hurt came from of the original offense for you to be so adamant about exposing this man. I'm gonna expose, you know what I'm saying? It's almost again like a bride, like I'm gonna hurry up and expose you, and I'm gonna tell everybody about you because you actually know the truth, and I don't want you to beat me to the punch. And that's just my thoughts on this. I know I went this long, but I probably go longer, but I don't want to start rambling and recovering stuff, man. But I'm gonna leave y'all with this. From what I said, you know, let's be content in our current situation, strive for better, and understand everything's in the Most High timing, y'all. Mahala, y'all. Ooh.